Hello Slidell, today is Monday, June 21st. I'm sitting here with the rest of Team Slidell, Fire Chief Chris Kaufmann, and stand-in for Chief Fandle, Daniel Seuzeneau with the Slidell Police Department. As many of you know, we have had quite a long weekend this past weekend, and it's going to be extending into this week with recovery efforts. Friday night we had rainstorms that trained across our city from about 10:30 or 11 o'clock Friday night until 1:30 Saturday morning. For about 2 to 3 hours, we had voluminous amounts of rain dumped upon our community. In some areas, 8 to 10 inches, in other areas as much as 11 or 12 inches. We had a rain gauge on the south side of town that showed 11 inches of rain at one of our pumping stations. That amount of rain is just almost impossible to handle with our drainage system. Our pumps were all working, everything was in place. We had men manning those pump stations at each of those pump stations, and the rain was being pumped out of the community as much as possible. But our drainage system is primarily a gravity-fed system. It flows from north to south, and when the water stacks up on the south side, the pumps are kicking in and they're pulling that water out of the city. But with those volumes of rain, 5 to 6 inches per hour, no storm system that we have in place could handle that volume of water. So we experienced significant street flooding. Many of you had water in your homes, in your garages, in your outbuildings, and we are here to emphasize the importance of self-reporting this, being counted, so that any type of aid or assistance that would come down from the federal government or the state government will come down to the state and the local parish government, then to us and to you eventually, if there's any opportunities for that. But the only way we can get that is to make sure that we are self-reporting and we are identifying the numbers of people and the locations of the damage and the properties that were impacted. The ways to self-report are twofold. One, go to the state and enter your information, register at damage.la.gov. You'll get registered with the state at that point, and they will identify you as a flood victim in Slidell. Then call the parish permitting department at 985-898-2574 and report your damages to them also. We're keeping a running count of the damage to the properties in the community, and it's very important that we get everybody self-reporting as best as possible. The first responders and PD worked very, very hard Friday night. There were water rescues with high water vehicles, and I can't thank Team Slidell, these gentlemen and their teams enough on behalf of our community for what they did for our community. But I'm going to give them a minute to talk a little bit about what they have seen and what they experienced this weekend, and to emphasize report, self-report your damage. Daniel, tell us a little bit about what PD experienced.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as Mayor stated, self-reporting is very important, and the reason for that is not just for possible funds for our community and ultimately, hopefully, you, but also to help us allocate manpower and resources to the proper areas if and when we have another event like this again, that we know where to deploy our people, our high water vehicles a little bit better, because this was a unique system that came through, and unfortunately that's the vulnerability we have in South Louisiana. So self-reporting is very important so we can make sure we get to you quickly and safely in an event that this happens again in the future.
Thank you, Daniel. Chief Kaufmann.
Yes, Mayor, a rough Friday night. I think we all approached the night thinking we were going to be on the west side of the storm. It wound up going a little more west, and we became on the east side of the eye, which changed the entire rain event for us. And instead of 3 to 5 inches, we experienced, as you well said, as many as 12 inches, which no system that I'm aware of would be able to handle disbursement of that amount of water in that period of time. On top of it, our grounds were saturated, but I think we had our high water vehicles up, Slidell PD, fire department, and even the sheriff's office. We were all out. Had people that were stranded in vehicles, that were stranded in water, needed assistance to get out. We experienced a number of medical calls that we needed to use high water vehicles to get to those individuals. But the important piece is what we're talking about today is the damage assessment. We have many crews that have been doing windshield surveys since Saturday. Part of our team has been out again this morning. We continue to find homes that have been flooded, and our goal is to get that data collected for our city, for the unincorporated area, mainly everything that happened that was affected on the east side of our parish, so that we can get accurate numbers. It's important for this particular event as well, to support what Daniel said, but we also want to collect this data for future reference when we have another rain event, so we will be aware of the areas to be a little more prepared for, get notification to those people. Really concerned about the elderly, the disabled, when we have an event that changes course so quickly like this one, the safety of those citizens concerns me. I think we did the best we could as far as the response goes based on the information we were provided. We watched weather service reports up until the event. It just was unfortunate the way it took a turn at the end. So again, if anybody that we haven't reached out to or made contact with, please report your damage so that we can get accurate numbers for the city of Slidell and the unincorporated areas of our district.
Thank you, Chief Kaufmann, and again, thank you to your team, fire department as part of Team Slidell, and your efforts on behalf of our community with those high water vehicles, getting people to safety, getting people to hospitals and the medical events. Daniel, thank you to Slidell Police Department for your team's efforts on behalf of our community and really stepping up, helping identify where the barricades needed to go out and getting those in place as best we could. These two prongs of the Team Slidell did an outstanding job Friday night and Saturday morning at doing the best that they could to protect our citizens and our community. As has been emphasized to you, the damage assessment is ongoing for our community, and it's very, very important that you self-report if you have a damaged situation. Even if one of our team members comes by and talks to you and assesses your damage with you, make sure you make the call to the parish permits department. The parish is the collection house for all of the damage assessment for our community and the parish. That's where the public funds will come through, if any come down. Also, go to the state website, damage.la.gov, and self-report. On that website, you'll be asked to even submit pictures if you can get some pictures and upload them to your application. But put that information into the system, stand up and be counted, and maybe we'll have enough data to justify some additional resources to help our community and to give us guidance in the future as to how we move forward through an event like this. So thank you for taking the time to listen to us today and visit with our community, with Team Slidell, and letting us share our experiences and giving some guidance and advice to you for how to proceed from this event of last weekend. Best wishes to you and your family, and in recovery, and getting yourselves back on your feet, and helping your neighbors, getting them back on your feet. As I said Saturday, we will get through this event together, as we always have through any other storm event. And with that, I'm your Mayor Greg Cromer with Chief Kaufmann and Lieutenant Seuzeneau. Is that right, or Captain Seuzeneau? No?
Just Daniel.
Just Daniel Seuzeneau with Slidell Police Department, all part of Team Slidell. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, City of Slidell, and we'll see you soon.